How's it going, everybody? Podcast number 6. I'm here with my co-host, Andrew, and then we got our guests to my bottom. We got Matt Granelli and Kevin Murphy. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about the 2021 free agent class. And it's proven to be an interesting one, but we're going to start from the top with the top guy who might surpass Bryce Harper's and Manny Machado's record, and that'd be Mookie Betts of the LA Dodgers, but we haven't seen him in the Dodger blue yet. So just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on where you think Mookie's going to go, or how much he'll command on the market.
Who wants to lead that off? Actually, no, I'll take that. I'll take Mookie Betts, former Red Sox. He's 28, hasn't played with the Dodgers yet. Who knows? He could shock the world and go back to Boston. It was just the 1 year, right? He was just on the 1 year. He was just on the 1 year deal with Boston, right?
Yeah, it was arbitration.
Yeah, it was arbitration. He broke the record at $27 million.
If he heads back to Boston, though, with that team, could be another. I mean, they have the offense to do it, but they don't have the pitching. So who knows where he could be headed? Any other takes on Mookie?
I think.
Yeah, big market team. I could see him anywhere. You know.
You think he stays with the Dodgers?
I think the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers make sense. They give him everything he needs. Money, beautiful area, and a team that's going to be able to contend for World Series and playoffs for a long time. I think a dark horse team actually would be the Angels, because if you look at their 21 books, they got a lot of money coming off the books with Pujols out the window and Semien. You know, who knows with him? They could look if they get. Let's say they do play this season and they don't do well, they could get desperate and go after Betts. I could see that.
That sounds pretty logical for them. I mean, they do have some of the best outfielding prospects in Joe Adell and Brandon Marsh in their minor league, which, I mean, those guys are potential like future All-Stars, future possible MVP caliber players, which they're like just making them out to be. But again, they have to come up and perform at the major league level.
I don't want to be the basic guy here, but I wrote down predictions on my sheet. I have him staying with the Dodgers. I mean, I think he's going to shatter the record, maybe hit $350 million in like a 10-year or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dodgers haven't gotten that ring yet. They've been there many times. They've won I don't know how many NL West championships that have alluded to nothing. But I think they're going to splurge for him because they really didn't give up much to get him. But, I mean, he's a generational talent, 5-tool player. Can get him over the top.
I personally would love to see him on the Padres, you know. I think he fits so well with them, and he gives them everything they need. I think they desperately need an outfielder. Offense, defense, they need it, right? I think he'd be the perfect guy to build around there. Him, Tatis,
Paddock,
not Machado. That team would be pretty ridiculous, and they could definitely take over the West.
Just a disclaimer here, our guest Kevin is actually his second favorite team is the Padres, so he's slightly biased there with that.
Listen, dude.
Slightly biased.
Slightly, but still, like, it makes sense, and they have money. The only thing is how this market's going to get affected with this whole – if they don't have a season, they're probably not going to go after him a Mookie Betts because they're not going to have the money. They're not going to be able to compete with anybody, and they're not going to add another $300 million contract to the books.
To the books.
Another top guy I had in mind, JT Realmuto of the Phillies.
Best catcher in baseball.
By far.
That's fair.
It is. And I think, I'm sorry, just simple as that, I think he's staying. I think there's no reason for him to leave. Honestly, there's a lot of teams have catchers. It's just like, where would he end up? Like, I don't know where he'd end up other than staying in Philly.
He wants to stay.
Yeah.
I think the interest is there on both sides. I think an extension, but if an extension doesn't get done, I feel like unless your team has a top 5 catcher, there's no reason not to go after JT. He's just that good. He's one of the few catchers who can hit for average, hit for power, and not to mention he's a defensive stud. So it's going to be tough if they don't re-sign him. I could see Mr. Met over here taking him off their hands. Maybe even a team like the Braves, the Brewers. Yeah, it's all about if you guys pony up, you know.
A lot of money coming off the books, though.
You're a big market team. Act like it, damn it.
It depends.
Exactly.
Depends.
You act like it. Spend some money.
I got another one for you guys, actually. He's third on my list, so I'll give him some respect. DJ LeMahieu. I think he
DJ
stays. But
I think
He better stay.
Personally, I'd like him to stay. But again, who knows what the Yankees spending? I think they'll re-sign him. There's no reason not to re-sign. Nick, what's this face? Come on, like
the Yankees spending, they'll pay him.
But here's the thing, like,
it's okay. You don't need to get jealous for when the Yankees spend and go get players, because it's not. We have the farm team and we got the money, so you're either homegrown or getting paid for. So I think there's no reason for him to go anywhere else.
3 guys coming off the books, 3 starters potentially coming off the books, and Tanaka, Paxton, and Happ has a club option. And if he doesn't have a great 2020, they're probably going to let him go.
Happ's getting kicked out the door. So
it's all going to be about money. Is it going to match up? The Yankees don't like giving out big extensions to guys, especially since DJ's going to be 32. I think he's worth every dime. He was the MVP for us in 2019.
Nick, what are you talking? What are you shaking your head at?
I wasn't shaking my head at anything.
I can go. I can just wait till I edit this. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna replay it.
Just zoom in.
You go. But
where would he go if he were to leave?
I think anywhere. I think a team like Angels would definitely love to have him. Angels make sense. Maybe even the Padres. Maybe. Not biased, by the way. The Nationals, they could use a guy like him. There's plenty of teams that take a shot at DJ.
I also have someone else on my list that can possibly leave. He went from being an absolute wreck in the infield, leading the league in over 50-plus errors at shortstop. From the AL West, Marcus Semien. He turned out to be a MVP season, but again, stats do show, yes. But he finished third in votes. I mean, I don't know if Oakland's going to pay him, but it also depends on what he's going to ask. I mean, I don't know where he's going to end up.
I mean, he had a good 2019. I'll give him that. But, I mean, if you're looking at track record, there's not much. And obviously, 2020 would have been big. And Kevin and I were talking about this yesterday, actually. If you look at the 2022 shortstop class, it's loaded.
Stacked.
You got Javi, Story, who we'll get to that another day. We have this
guy.
Lindor, and so on. So, I mean, I don't think you want to splurge on a guy like Semien when you have, like, loads of talent.
Exactly. If you bring him back on, like, a 2-year deal, maybe a club option for a third, nice cheap contract. I mean, like you said, small sample size, dominant 2019. Again, like, he's not overshadowing anyone else out there in Oakland. I mean, Matt Chapman, maybe Matt Olson, my boy, Emily the Show glitch.
He's definitely a guy who needed a 2020 season. Like, he needs it bad. Because if he can replicate those numbers, I think he's gonna make a decent amount of money, probably more than he will without a season, right? I think teams are gonna be iffy because it could be a fluke kind of thing. Is he really taking the next step? And he's 30 years old, so it's a tough one. I could see the Angels and A's basically swapping shortstops. You know, Simmons goes to the A's. And then Semien going to the Angels.
The A's
I think that makes a lot of sense.
The Angels are going to have a lot of money off the table, like you said.
Yeah.
So they're contenders for pretty much almost anyone, in my opinion. They were involved in almost every conversation, or at least brought up, and like, oh, the Angels could possibly go and get this guy, or.
Yeah, the Angels need to be good. There's no reason for them.
They need to be good again out there in Anaheim.
They need to be good. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're desperate for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to Milwaukee.
Huh?
Hot take.
Who?
Semien,
Milwaukee?
Small market.
That makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Orlando Arce has been a suspect, top prospect, but Semien's on the market.
Very suspect.
So low key, the Phillies, if they decide Didi's not worth it, they could go after a guy like Semien.
I wrote down contract predictions. I have him going 2-year, 25 to Milwaukee.
That's a nice, simple deal for Milwaukee, too. They're not, like, risking whatever money they have left on someone who's, off the table. But I want to talk – we talked about Houston. My next man up is George Springer. George Springer, okay?
He's an interesting one.
Just bang the trash can. But, again, Springer – and the Astros may just part ways. I think the Astros are going to try to get rid of everyone, or at least keep their cornerstone player like Bregman and Altuve. But everyone else are going to try to filter out. So the fact that they quote unquote cheated are going to hopefully that gets left in the past by way of filtering out the players. But I think he goes to the NL.
I disagree there.
You think he stays?
I think he stays. I mean, did you hear how the owner denied everything? He's the one giving them the check.
Yeah, Nick.
I think the problem is going to boil down to money because you got to think this team has a lot of free agents coming up. They got Carrera the following season. They got Brantley to deal. They got Verlander and they got Greinke. So they're going to need some arms. So I don't think
is a free agent.
Yeah,
I think they let go.
This guy. I think extending a Springer doesn't make sense for them.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think he's going to ask for a little bit too much money, and it's just not going to match up. I think a team that he could look to sign with, the Diamondbacks. I think Diamondbacks make a lot of sense.
Dark horse D-backs.
I think
off the top rope.
I like the Diamondbacks.
Or what if he stays in the division and goes to Texas? Or
to the Rangers. The Rangers, yeah, that makes sense. They definitely they're trying to gear up. They got a new state.
Yeah. They have a good rotation, honestly. But Mike Minor is a free agent. We'll talk about him later. But let's get to pitchers now. The top pitcher I have written down is Trevor Bauer, and my thing with him is he had a up and down 2019. He was superb with the Tribe, and then he just plateaued with the Reds. And then
so you got – sorry to interrupt, but you got Bauer over Stroman?
I do have Bauer over Stroman.
Wow.
And that's coming from that fan, so that's high praise. That's high praise. You manned up and said it on live video.
That's crazy.
Bauer's come out and said he's only going to sign 1-year deals, to maximize his value. And with that, I have him going to San Diego for 1 year, 19, because they need arms behind Paddock. They have the hitters, but they need the pitching.
But that makes sense. I'd see a team like the Angels too. The Angels are just going to be in on anyone.
It's a fair argument. Yeah. The Angels have enough money coming off the books. They're in play on almost everyone if they want them. Yeah. Because they have to.
I think the most sense is the Twins, though. I think the Twins need pitching bad. I think Trevor Bauer would help them a lot.
But I think Trevor may stay with the Reds because he's like boys with Derek Dietrich, and I see it. He's always with Dietrich, always with Lorenzen. So who knows? I mean, Terry Francona, one of the main reasons he got traded was that instance with Francona in Kansas City when he yeeted the ball over the center field fence. I mean,
yeah, that was an impressive throw.
It was impressive. I mean, it's just what team is going to deal with some childlike behavior, and he's kind of the most hated player by the front office of the actual MLB. Because he speaks out on everything, whatever they do. He kind of he made a fool out of Manfred in some of his tweets and everything. So, but I don't know what team wants to deal with that. So
it's true.
I see him staying with the Reds.
All right. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I don't really see a reason for him to leave. But a lot of teams need pitching. A lot of teams need pitching, especially in that division. I think. Maybe the Pirates.
Not signing with the Pirates.
No, I'm sorry, but no one's going to go to the Pirates for a few years. I mean, they do have what I did write down. They have Archer on he's a club.
He's free next. He's free. He's free next season, I think.
That's right. He is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, after 2019, I don't know where the hell he's going to go. So.
Yeah, I'm more concerned personally about Stroman.
The Sachem
roll back into that.
The Sachem North product, Marcus Stroman.
Yep. What do you
Yeah,
have?
now Nick starts to lean into the monitor.
He goes.
How does he handle a full year in Queens? We'll see, but I don't really see him leaving. I mean, he grew up a Met fan. I have the Mets showing out a 5-year $80 to him to stay.
That's low. I think that's low. I think he's gonna ask for Wheeler-esque money, dude. He's gonna ask for Wheeler-esque money. He's better than Wheeler. I think he's better than Wheeler. He's been an ace of a staff. He's got way better numbers. I think the only thing that hurts him is his strikeout rates. But even then, it's like he's been an ace of a staff. He has the numbers. He's gonna ask for Wheeler-esque money.
I agree.
And that's coming from 2 Yankee fans saying that like he's better than Wheeler, and you're like, woo, like.
I think he's pitched in 2 of the toughest divisions, both East divisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's found success.
Playoff experience. No, he deserves his money. He's a stud.
He's gonna get paid. I think
we should pay him. We should. Pay
he's
him.
gonna get Wheeler-esque money.
Yeah, for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
And he's gonna be yours to lose. Like I think the Mets are gonna be the front runners in re-signing him. But if you guys if you don't pony up and you balk on him, there's a lot of teams that would take a chance with him. The White Sox, the Braves need pitching. The Phillies would love to steal him away from you guys. Yeah, I think there's plenty of teams that come out.
The Braves could let Ozuna go and then go after a pitcher because that's their
$18 million right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got a lot of money coming off the books too. I think they're 21. They only got like 68 mil officially on the books. That's before like arbitration and all that. But they got money. They can go after a guy like Stroman easily.
Hey, I mean, Stroman could ask for more. I'm just being realistic with ownership. That's what they're going to want to do. We'll see if he accepts it.
Yeah, that'll be the floor.
We'll give the hometown discount. I don't know. Grew up.
That's not happening.
Hometown discount.
That's not happening. Players don't do that. Players don't do that. Unless they get drafted by the organization. Mookie Betts is a perfect example of a guy who's not going to give a hometown discount.
Yeah.
They want money. They're going to get paid.
I mean, yeah, he broke the record and then left. And then got traded. So
yeah.
I mean, the Red Sox didn't have to give him any money really, but thank God for him.
I had an interesting one as relievers. We haven't touched on them yet. I had Liam Hendriks, who I looked on MLB.com, wasn't even ranked, and I found that interesting.
That's absolute BS. He's one of
the
sub-1
ERA.
What?
He had a sub-1 ERA last year, like low 1.
I think the Athletics will probably go out and pay him, in my opinion.
My question, I think you have to see if he has that Trinan type decline. Like Trinan was below 1 also, and he went downhill from there.
Yeah, Trinan had the one good year on Oakland, but Hendriks had like a really bad start to his career. Went to the Athletics, started doing better, and then last year was his first All-Star appearance. I'm pretty sure, probably with the sub-1. And then, he may ask for a nice contract, but again, Oakland really doesn't have that much money unless they're going to go splurge on Marcus Semien.
I have him going to the Dodgers.
Dodgers?
Kenley's not the same, and Trinan's on a 1 year, and we'll see how that ends up. And they always need that second guy.
Oakland.
Who knows? Oakland's always looking for the cheap guys that struggled and they build their value back up.
Yeah, they're still living in that Moneyball era. But,
Oakland.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they traded him. If he could trade guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Same thing with Semien.
If there's a 20 season, they're going to trade. I'd see them trading Semien and Hendriks.
Who would they look for, though? Like, what kind of players do you think?
Prospects.
Top 100s, probably.
Yeah.
Semien's
they're looking for prospects.
If Semien's an MVP candidate, you need a top 100 for that. Or what was he, third place?
Yeah, but underneath that MVP candidacy, they have that one season with 57 errors or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think one season, is he going to come back down to earth? Was he just playing for future contract year kind of thing? So who knows with that?
Yeah.
We have 6
He's an interesting one.
The timer runs out. So if you want to wrap this up soon with a few more.
I'll do a fan favorite here. I'll do one more here. Didi Gregorius.
He's leaving Philly. Or Philly's going to let
him. You think he leaves?
one else.
I have him staying. I think he's going to stay with Girardi.
How much money?
I know they were boys.
Yeah, no, it's 1 year, 14.
Yeah.
That's why he needs a 20 so badly. He needs a 20 season so badly. Because he signed a 1 year to prove it, right? To prove that he deserves a longer deal. He's going to be 31 years old. And again, pointing back to that 22 shortstop class, it's ridiculous. Does a team really want to gamble with a 31-year-old who just came off the Tommy John and you're not sure if he's back, right? So,
yeah, I don't know. And if
the bat's there, the bat will always be there for Didi, which he developed with the Yankees. But I don't know about the arm and the fielding. I mean, again, Nick, that's a perfectly good statement that he has no reason to leave. It's just like what kind of contract they're going to give him, like another 1 year deal. They're not going to give him 14 mil again.
yeah,
I have 4 year 48, so that's 12.
yeah, I think you got to look at if there are prospects behind him, maybe that could take place. If there's anyone else in the market, I could see Didi leaving. To be honest with you, like going to a team like the Marlins that'll just pay him a lot.
They have like the Phillies. We talked about this in the last podcast. If you guys weren't here for, but they have Gene Segura and Scott Kingery, which they could put at short, and then they just end up calling up Bohm, and Bohm ends up playing a corner position throughout the field. So who knows what the Phillies have a lot of options to do this offseason. I have two more to add. We have 4 minutes left. We'll make this quick. I have Kirby Yates, free agent.
Stays.
I think he's going to ask for some money, but I think he stays.
Oh, yeah, because he's been a top reliever in the game for 2 years it's been with the Padres, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last one here, and then we'll wrap this up. The walking 40. And he is 40 years old. Nelson Cruz, the boomstick.
Wow.
Boomstick.
Where's he going?
I want to be boring.
What?
I have him staying.
He'll go wherever.
He'll go wherever in the AL.
He'll go wherever. I think Texas. Why not? He'll go back to Texas.
home.
Rangers.
Back
he'll
home.
go back to Rangers. He'll go back home. Retire
1 year,
there.
15 mil. That's
Call it
my
a career.
price.
Go back home.
sense.
Last playoff shot.
Yep.
Yep.
Be like, hey, spend some money. I'll take a hometown discount. Let's spend some money.
Exactly.
Let's give me a rig on the way out. Huh? Won't happen, but a boy could dream, right?
A boy can dream.
Exactly.
I think that about covers it, right? For free agents.
I think so.
I think so. Thanks for watching, everyone. And Kevin and Matt, always a pleasure having you guys on here. And we'll see you next time for podcast number 7.